Hi, this is Debra Cohen. Welcome to A Story and a Song. And today we're going to be talking about the structure of the Sukkah. This is Sukkot 2023. And we're going to talk about how the structure is similar to a hug right after this message. This is Debra Cohen. I'm writing meaningful music with a message. Spirituality, pop rock music, interfaith music, and sync music for movie, TV, and film. Check out my music, the story behind the song, and share. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. DebraCohenMusic.com. Sorry about that delay. I was chatting in the chat room and I got sidetracked. Welcome, Marty, and everybody else that is in the chat room during this teaching. I hope that there's something that you can glean, a spiritual nugget that you can share with somebody else. But if you're in the ability or the option, if you have the option to sit in a quiet place undisturbed for the next 30 minutes while I share this information with you, you might find it quite interesting. And if you have paper and pen or pencil to take notes, that would be really good too. And I am Debra Cohen from DebraCohenMusic.com, and I thank you for sharing my music because sharing is caring. All right, now I'm going to set this up, and you might be imagining, like, okay, I'd like you to get your imagination working, actually. And I want you to listen to this fact that I learned decades ago, which I thought was a mind blower, but this is going to set us up for the significance of why hugs are important. Okay? All right. And this is from a Newsweek article, and it's about a Dr. Tiffany Fields who has a Touch Institute. Yes, there is such a thing as a Touch Institute. Healthy touch, not perverted touch. We're not talking about that. Okay, but listen to this study they did to find out if touch was necessary for newborns. In between crusades and ideological battles with the Pope, the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II had time to conduct a little 13th century style child development research. He removed a group of babies from their families and handed them over to nurses who attended only to their most basic needs, feeding but not holding them, bathing but not hugging them. Frederick wanted to learn what language the infants would speak if they never heard adults talk or sing a lullaby. And what do you think happened to these babies? With no touch, no human connection. He learned something else instead of something about the lullaby effect. He learned that the children all died. Yes, that's right. The children in this study all died. As one 13th century historian explained, Frederick labored in vain, for they could not live without petting. So we don't do those kind of tests in this day and age, but I want you to know that the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick, I guess he didn't think the kids were going to die if they didn't get touched or hugged as newborns. So mothers, if you're listening, and you've never hugged your children, I know the byproduct of that, there's neurological issues the child will develop. We're not going to go into a lot of details. Today's topic is about how the Sukkah mimics a human hug. And we'll dig into that right after this message. And I'm trying to decide which one. I've got so many so many messages here. Okay. Debra Cohen, from the New Wave 80s into faith music to Hebrew and pop rock or sync music for TV, movie, and films. Multi-genre music, Debra Cohen. And I just love that song, She, He, because of the bass line. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a bass junkie. I started out learning how to play bass in the 80s, but I changed to guitar because I was playing the bass strings with my fingertips, and they had these like grapes on the end of them, like they were blown up from all the friction of the strings. I should have stuck with the bass. Okay, but anyway, so we learned before the break that if a newborn baby doesn't get human touch, they don't do very well. And in the case of Frederick there, the children died. So let's talk about, how does the Sukkah, if your imagination is already working, how does the Sukkah, and if you don't know what it is, we're talking about the Leviticus 23 command, eternal feast of God for all of his children to honor the Feast of Sukkot in a booth, or some people call it the Feast of Booths. It's a hut or a sukkah. And in the Torah, I believe it does say that those that live in Israel, so some people say you don't have to do it if you're not in Israel, but why not do it if you're someplace else? Just to experience what it's like to remember the Israelites coming out of Egypt and trekking across the desert. But more than that, this is about the experience of the elements. Like, for example, we're very vulnerable as human beings, even though we can build concrete houses or wooden homes. When Mother Nature has her way, like she had in New York City, and I heard New Jersey, they were flooded this past Sukkot on the first day. And, we have to realize that we need to depend on God for everything. And this Sukkah, or as Marty is saying, the Feast of Tabernacles, as some people know it, the hut or the top of the roof is made only out of natural materials, if it's made according to the Torah. And we should be able to see the stars. And so we become aware of the fact that we have to rely on God even for our own safety. So let me continue from Chabad.org. This is called Anatomy of a Hug, if you want to research this reading that I'm going to share with you. For the past 3,275 years, during the 7 days of the joyous feast of Sukkot, we eat, drink, feast, schmooze, which means to converse, relax, read, and sleep in a temporary structure or hut known as a sukkah. This structure consists of walls and a roof composed of material that grew from the ground, like bamboo or straw or branches. How many walls does the sukkah require according to the Torah? According to Jewish law, a sukkah must have 2 complete walls plus a third wall that may even be merely 1 handbreadth long. If your sukkah has 3 or 4 complete walls, that's wonderful, but the minimum requirement is 2 walls and a tiny piece of a third wall. Why does the law dictate this exact requirement for the sukkah walls? And what really is the spiritual and psychological significance of spending 7 days in a hut on your porch or in your backyard? 2 of the most extraordinary Jewish thinkers, Rabbi Isaac Luria, the leading Kabbalist of 16th century Tzfat, and Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the Alter Rebbe of Chabad, turn our attention to the affectionate words uttered by the bride in the Song of Songs. Quote, his left arm lay under my head, and his right arm embraces me. And that's in the Song of Songs, chapter 2, verse 6. And if you can imagine this position, what does it start to resemble? These 2 mystics understood these words to be addressing in a metaphorical prose 2 distinct moments in the relationship between God, the groom, and his people, the bride. During the days of awe, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, God's left arm, as it were, lay under the head of the Jewish people. The left side represents in Kabbalah introspection, discipline, and integrity, and this is the primary theme of the days of awe. Sukkot, on the other hand, describes in the Torah as, quote, the time of joy, end quote, constitutes the point during the year when God's right arm embraces me. Take a look at any of your arms, says Rabbi Isaac Luria, and you will notice its division, now this is really getting heady, into 3 divisions, each one usually extending in a different direction. Now, if you're looking at your arm. Okay, the first is the arm itself, from the shoulder to the elbow. The second is the forearm, and from the elbow to the wrist. And the third is, of course, from the wrist to the edge of the fingers. Now, take a good look at your sukkah, and you will notice a right arm's embrace. The first complete wall represents a divine embrace from the shoulder to the elbow. The second wall reflects the embrace of the forearm. And the third tiny wall symbolizes the palm embrace. Rabbi Isaac Luria takes this a step further. He explains that these 3 dimensions of an arm's embrace encompass 3 distinct parts of the body being embraced. When you embrace another person, explains Rabbi Chaim Vital, quoting his teacher Rabbi Isaac Luria, the highest part of the arm, between the shoulder and the elbow, encompasses the entire left waist of the one being embraced. Now, using your imagination, the middle part of the person's arm, the forearm, expands over the entire width of the embraced person's back. Finally, the palm and fingers extend even further and cover only a small part of the face of the embraced one, a handbreadth of the face. The same is true concerning the sukkah embrace. The first 2 walls represent God's light, embracing the left waist and the back of the human being dwelling in the sukkah. Yes, Marty says, this is incredible. Isn't it incredible? God is incredible. The third wall of the sukkah symbolizes the divine energy embracing a small part of the Jew's face. If you have a sukkah of 3 or 4 complete walls, the hug is, of course, an all-embracing one, encircling your back and your face. This is the language of Kabbalah, written in codes and metaphors. So you see, you need not only an imagination to understand more than it's just sitting in a hut schmoozing and eating. There's something spiritually going on with divine energy. So how can the performance of the mitzvah of Sukkah become a meaningful and inspiring experience, even if the weather will decide to disagree with the holiday? To understand this, we must examine 4 universally accepted forms of expressing love to another human being. The first is, of course, through words of affection. The 3 simple words that my husband says to me all the time, thank you, dearie. I love you. When utterly, sincerely, may have a transforming impact on people's lives. It does. It surely does if you say it in all sincerity. Words have always served as the basic tools for expressing our inner emotive experiences. A second, more powerful expression of love is a kiss. A holy kiss, a genuine kiss, contains an extraordinary energy and serves as the medium for communicating a deeply intense feeling they may not be grasped in words. Words can state, I love you, while a kiss declares, I love you more than I will ever be able to tell you how much I love you. Mwah. To my husband. A third, perhaps even more powerful expression of love comes in the form of a gaze. 2 people in love can gaze at each other for long periods of time without uttering a sound. The sound of a silent gaze is sometimes louder than a thundering cry conveying affection. Eyes carry within themselves deep secrets of the soul. That is why most people feel uncomfortable when somebody stares them in the eyes for more than a few seconds. And I might add, where do your eyes go when you're on a date with somebody? Are they on the cell phone or on somebody's booty? Not very good. Can you see why now? There is something of your soul that can communicate to another human being exclusively through the eyes. That's why Hashem, God, says to guard your eyes. They are the windows of your soul. A 4th universally accepted method of expressing love is by means of an embrace. A big fat hug. Who doesn't like a big fat hug? When it is authentic and not just for showbiz or demonstrates a solid and profound bond. Let me rephrase that. Not just for showbiz, but when it demonstrates a solid and profound bond existing between the 2 people embracing each other. Which of these 4 forms of love do children cherish most? Ask your children. Which of those 4 expressions of love do they cherish most? Children enjoy being spoken to, not at. They certainly take pleasure from being kissed and being locked upon with tender affection. Yet more than anything, most children, especially infants, cherish being hugged. And I read to you before the break what happened in this experiment when the infants were not hugged. When our children hurt themselves or destroy our homes and then break out in tears, they come running to their parents for a big and long hug to calm them down and to restore their confidence. Think about your childhood. What happened when you ran to mommy or daddy because you were hurting? Did you get yelled at like I did? Did you get slapped like I did? Or did your mother or father say, come here, dear, and they give you a hug and a kiss? 2 significant features set apart an embrace from the other 3 love communicators. All the above mentioned forms of expressing affection are directly, primarily toward the face of the beloved one. You speak to one's face, you kiss one's cheeks or lips, and you gaze at one's eyes. Those are all facial interaction. Marty says, yes, hugs. An embrace defines as its target the nape and back of the one being embraced. Think about it. One more feature that distinguishes an embrace from other love communicators is the firm physical bond that characterizes a delicious hug. When I utter words of love to you, when I gaze at you, even when I kiss you, I am not holding on to you. If you want to move away from my kiss, it's your choice. But when I embrace you, even if you wish to escape my embrace, you remain trapped in my gripping hug. I don't let you tear yourself away from me. Now, once we grasp the spiritual energy behind a hug, we will see how these two unique characteristics of an embrace, its target being the back and its gripping hold on the embraced one, are independent upon each other. There are two forms of love: reciprocal love and unconditional love. The first is directed to the face of the beloved one. The second is directed to the back of the beloved. I may love you because of what I receive in return for my relationship with you. You may be wise, deep, sensitive, kind, beautiful, humorous, challenging, etc. Qualities expressed in and through your face, your eyes, your ears, and mouth, and general look. And I love you because of these or other tremendous qualities that enrich my life. This is the type of love communicated in words of affection, or in a kiss, or in a silent, romantic gaze. All of them directed toward the face of the beloved one, the primary location of reciprocity. When I express my attachment to you in these three other forms, I am essentially stating that I cherish you because of your face, because of your qualities and virtues that enrich the caliber of my life. Without you, life for me is that much more empty, boring, and directionless. This love is not an illusion or a myth. It may be deep and powerful and can bestow upon you a life of blessings and fulfillment. Yet it is conditional on the reciprocity of the beloved one. As long as you are here for me, I am here for you. In essence, I love you because I love myself, and you make myself so much deeper and happier. Yet there is a far deeper love. The love demonstrated in an embrace, in which my arms encircle your back. The hug represents an unconditional, unqualified, and absolute love. It is not about your face. It is about your back, a space lacking the opportunity for meaningful reciprocity. I don't love you because of me. I love you because of you. You may not give me anything in return for my love. You may even want me out of your life, but I still love you with all my heart. Because of my soul loves your soul. That is why children, perhaps more than anything else, need their parents to embrace them. When children contract a boo-boo or destroy something in the home, what they are searching for more than anything is the affirmation that the validity of their existence has not been compromised. They are yearning to hear the message that their value is not dependent upon them being perfect and impeccable, but that their dignity is absolute and eternal. Teach me, asks the child, that you love me unconditionally because of who I am and not because of what I achieve. And if you want to know something really pathetic, when my mother passed away, you know what she gave me in her passing? Only an envelope. And you know what was inside the envelope? Every report card I ever got from kindergarten through grade 12. So do you know that I felt the only way I could be loved was if I achieved something? Because I learned that from my mother. When your child is weeping because their finger is bleeding and you simply place a Band-Aid on the wound and go away, you may have forfeited the irreplaceable opportunity to teach your child the most important lesson of all. Your dignity stems from your very being. Even when you fail in life and bleed badly, or you fall and hurt yourself badly, your very being and identity is sacred and indispensable. Our relationship with God also operates on these two levels. All year round, God's light is communicated to us as a result of the choices we make in our lives. The more we fine-tune our bodies and psyches to the higher truth of reality, the more we allow ourselves to hear echoes of the still, silent voice of God resonating in the depths of our souls. Throughout the year, we experience God's presence only through our endless efforts and toil to refine our behavior and spiritualize our days. When we meditate, pray, reflect, study, and live morally and wholly, we may catch a glimpse of God's love toward us. When I declare war against my immoral temptations and ugly cravings, I can at times sense a reciprocal kiss from God. Throughout the year, we enjoy a reciprocal relationship with God. God might talk to you. He may even kiss you or gaze at you, or he sends me songs all the time. But with one condition: you must show him your face. If you don't turn your back on him, he will be there for you in ways you might have never imagined. On Sukkot, the rules are suspended for the 7 days. During this unique festival, God embraces you. He shares his light and love with you unconditionally. This is the essence of the Sukkah experience. What do you do in the Sukkah? You eat, you drink, you chat, you relax, you hang out, you sleep. All mundane things pursued by ordinary physical human beings. There is no hint of spirituality or religiosity in many activities we do in the Sukkah. Yet, when these acts are performed in the Sukkah during the festival of Sukkot, they are defined by God as a mitzvah, as a medium through which we craft a relationship with Hashem. This is the message displayed by the walls of the Sukkah. I love you and cherish you not because of what you do for me, or because of what I gain from you, says God. I am attached to you, not because of your spiritual sophistication or because of your noble pursuits. I love you because I love you, says God. I am one with you as you are, and I am in love with your very core. So if you need a big fat hug in your life, this Sukkot, spend some time in your Sukkah. The purpose of each Jewish holiday is to leave us with a message and an energy that can impact us throughout the entire coming year till the same holiday comes again. This is a true concerning Sukkot as well. This hug displayed to us by God, even while we are in a very physical mode, empowers and inspires us to reciprocate and transform all of our physical and mundane endeavors throughout the year into tools through which to serve God and bring his light into the world. This may be one of the reasons for the statement of the Midrash that the performance of the mitzvah of Sukkah nowadays guarantees you a place in the Sukkah that will embrace the world during the time of Moshiach. During the time of Mashiach, the human being will feel himself or herself encircled and embraced by divine energy. And the preparation for that is spending time in the sukkahs that we build today. So I invite you, as we close, to take your arms and cross them over each other onto your shoulders. And if you're able, give yourself a big hug. Thank you for listening. This is Debra Cohen, and I hope to see you next Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, for a story and a song.